All right, another Sunday, another fun day. At least I hope it's going to be. So, got a few things done this week. I got the brake split, and we'll go over that, and I'll show you the pros and cons of that pressure system. Also, the horn relay came in, so we're a bit horny now. So it works. I only got one horn hooked up. It's not where it goes, but I just wanted to test it, so I just hooked it up on the radiator support with a bolt, and just waiting for, I actually have, oop, dropping stuff here. I actually have my original, look at this, I'm making a mess. I actually have my original hood release that I had chromed back in the 70s or early 80s, I forget when I did it. But actually it's cadmium plated, but it's chrome polished up here. It's dirty, but it's chrome. So let me pick up my mess here. So I decided to go ahead and just order just a new one, so everything else is new, might as well. And it'll be painted I believe it's a semi, I think it's a semi-gloss black, I'm not sure, whatever the chassis black is. So if it doesn't look good, I'll repaint it with what I painted the subframe, the radiator support with. Also, I got my lines out because we're going to figure out what line is what today. I temporarily have power going back to the pump, so we can figure that out. And finally, let's see if I put it here. You can see it. Sunoco. It's an unleaded 260. It has to be unleaded because the manufacturer of the motor blueprint said to use unleaded, not to use leaded. Also, no ethanol. It's oxygenated, so you know, it's a quality fuel. It's delivered right to my doorstep. It would have been cheaper to buy a 54-gallon drum. Usually it's in a 55-gallon, but I guess they leave room for expansion, so there's no accidents. So basically, this is going to go into the tank today. There's no ethanol, so if it sits in the tank for a few months, who cares? It's not going to do any damage. I'm going to activate the pump. I'm going to see which one gives me fuel, and we'll start working on the fuel system and getting that buttoned up. And I've been through a lot of things. I've been working on the transmission kickdown. The sensor's in there on the tranny, and I have these two wires here, which I believe is a combination of transmission kickdown and the throttle control system. Orange being kickdown, black being the throttle control system. But for some reason, I can't figure out how this orange wire runs in this harness. I don't have a good pinout of the harness. American, I believe it's called American wire. Yeah, American auto wire. The harnesses are good. They're durable. They're put together really well, but their instructions totally suck. Every time I pull up, like something simple like this. This is the courtesy harness that goes under the dash for the two lights on the left and the right. And it's the CH21748. When you try to pull the instructions, just to, you know, because I don't remember actually having these lights in here. Maybe somebody took them out. Maybe I never had. No, I had to have them because I believe they were standard on all cars. But anyway, just to look for a quick wiring harness, just to get an idea how it runs. I'm pretty sure I know how it runs, but it's just every harness that I pull is just not there. So it's kind of, I don't know. They're good harnesses, but you know, the support part of it and the research part of it sucks. The only part that was really good was the inside harness and everything there. I marked everything. I found all the connectors. Everything that I needed is connected. What I don't need is just folded away and hidden. But I was expecting to see a sheet like this with every harness that you buy, and when I didn't, I went to the website, and there are instructions, but everything I need is not there. So I don't know. American Auto Wire, you got to do way better. Let me just get this out of the way here. I don't like leaving it up high. So yeah, American Auto Wire, you got to do a lot better with your instructions, because you know, I pretty much can figure it out by looking at the regular wiring harnesses that are in my the Chevelle repair manual, and the Fisher body manual. But there's going to be people out there that are new to this that are not going to be able to figure it out, and it's going to be very frustrating. And with frustration comes basically lack of interest in your project, and guys just get disgusted and they just throw them on the market, sell them, and that's another guy that we lost to frustration, and there's not many of us left. So I think these companies need to do a little bit better with their instructions. Not necessarily for us seasoned guys, but definitely for the new guys and the younger guys that are trying to get into this. It's a shame when you can't just walk through a project, for something as simple as courtesy lights. Like I said, I never removed them on my car, so they were probably removed prior to me. And I don't know exactly how they ran. I don't know exactly where they bolt under the dash. And I'm going to have to do that research so I don't put them in the wrong place and do something stupid. So, like I said, American Auto Wire, you don't necessarily need to tell me where I need to screw them in, but you need to at least tell me the routing of the wires over it connects to. And, and what the game plan is. But anyway, enough of American Auto Wire. Like I said, it's a great product. I don't discourage you from buying it. I think it's one of the best out there, but the instructions are horrible. It's just like Speedmaster. Great products. They look good, they fit good. Everything is good about it, but unfortunately, the instructions suck, and the support is at best 50-60%. It's not that good. You're kind of, it's kind of like you're all alone, unless other guys that have been through it have figured it out and can help you online or whatever. I mean, I pretty much figured everything out, but it is what it is. So, all right, like I said, all right, we bled the brakes, and that was a slight nightmare in itself. So for Father's Day, I went out and I bought myself a little drill press here, nothing fancy, just a desktop. I have the big one, and I have the mill in the machine shop, but sometimes just gearing those things up is just a pain. So I went ahead and I machined this. I made, it's still a little wet, so I don't want to get it all over the place. So I machined my cap, and I put it on, and I put about 3-4 pounds in there, so it did force the fluid through, but unfortunately, I ended up a little tiny stream, which I caught right away, so we didn't make a mess. But if we look closely, if I could keep it in my hands here, if you look closely, let's see, yeah, right there. See that little groove right there? And we have that same groove on this side. Even with the 4 pounds of pressure, luckily I pretty much had everything open and receiving bottles at each end. So there was no mess that way. This is a great idea, except this style cap has this little relief here, and I'll be honest, I really don't know why it's there. Is it an expansion for the rubber? I don't know. Is it something to do with atmospheric pressure? Who knows? Only God knows why that's there, because the people that build a master cylinder couldn't tell me. So that's what I mean about frustration. So basically, I drilled it. Used a 7/16 drill. I stepped it up. I started with a small drill, got to 7/16. Then I went ahead and I tapped it with a 1/4-inch NPT, and then I made my little manifold here, which works great. But like I said, it just had that little tiny stream right there, which when I started closing the I had to actually take this on and off a couple times because I had to keep refilling. And when next time I do something like this, I'll probably put an extra hole in here so I could keep filling both ends, or whichever end I'm working on at the time. But I had to take it on and off a few times to refill it, and I did get my pressure going through the system. It pushed it right through, no problem, except for, like I said, that little stream there, which I caught. It didn't make a mess, it didn't ruin anything. I just Windexed the hell out of everything once I saw that little stream and made sure that everything was cleared and cleaned, so we didn't lose any paint or anything like that. So again, don't know what those little slashes are for, these little relief cuts. And again, the manufacturer couldn't tell me either. And at that point, I'm going to say that we had a 70% success rate with the idea, and man, a little higher. I would give it more of an 85%, because it did work. It did push the fluid through, and it did minimize my bleeding after. You know, I don't think I really needed to bleed it after, but I did anyway. I just used my little suction tool just to kind of finish it up, and this way, you know, basically we have brakes now. I did find one leak. It was the main line in the back where it feeds the rubber line over the rear, because when I had it on a rotisserie, can't talk again. When I had it on the rotisserie, I went ahead and I ran all the lines, so this way I can neatly put all the lines in the right place. I could put all the clamps on there, and I worked comfortably, because, you know, when you get old, you can't contort yourself to all these different positions anymore. You can, but then you pay for it later. So basically that line leaked, and it was because my dumbass forgot to tighten it when I rolled it over. I left it loose because I still didn't have the rear completed, and you can't have suspension on the vehicle when it's on a rotisserie. I mean, you can put some light pieces on there, but you can't get crazy putting like the whole rear in there and all that. That could become quite dangerous. The actual rotisserie could actually flip on you and kill you, hurt you, destroy the car, or do a lot of damage. So once I rolled it over, because I'm piecemealing this, because I'm just too busy to stay on it all day, you know, for like 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. I can only spend a few hours every weekend on here. So I never tightened it, and that pressure system showed me right away where that leak was. I went under there, I tightened it after contorting myself to fit and get my hands up in there. I tightened it, took care of that. The fluid just pushed right out into the bottles in all 4 corners. As I started tightening, every time I did a little something, I ran up just to look to make sure I didn't have a leak, because I didn't want a disaster. When I tightened the right rear, I ran up just to look, and that's when I noticed a little, it was a very faint stream, but at that point I stopped because I knew there was going to be a problem. So I didn't tighten any other bleeders. I pretty much shut down the system, and I also had a bucket under each wheel just in case there was a problem, but there wasn't. And at that point I went around and I just kind of pulled my bottle, let it drip into the buckets, and this way, kind of like a gravity bleeding. I tightened everything up, and then I went back, right rear, left rear, right front, left front, and just basically I did it with the suction tool. So the suction tool finished it off, and my pedal's okay. I think we're going to do an actual, you know, 2-person bleeding, so this way we know it's 100%. But right now it's full, it's not leaking, everything was good. So like I said, I'm going to give my my manifold idea there. On anything else, it would work perfectly. On a stock Master, it would probably work just fine, because there's no relief cuts and nothing to push out. And also to make other adapters for the stock ones, which they don't for a custom one. They do, but I didn't quite trust it because of the way you got to tie it down and the shape of this Master. I didn't want to take a chance, because I think if something popped at that point, we definitely would have had a disaster. So it was a controlled disaster, so let's give it 80–85% success rate, and the remainder, you know, 20–15%. Not necessarily failure, just you know, just it didn't work. But anyway, so enough of that. So I put the glove box light in, so that's working properly, and I'm trying to sort out the kickdown. I do have a switch and a bracket coming, because I can't find my original bracket. I know I have it. I know I have the switch, but I mean, you know, above where that camera is sitting, I have boxes loaded with this car's parts, and I'm just not going to go through them. I'd rather just spend 40, 50, 60 bucks and get it new. It's clean, in it goes. You know, it's the same thing, really. Okay, so it's not OEM, but what's OEM on the car? The engine's not, the tranny's not, the rear's not. So, you know, we're not doing a restoration, we're just building a car. And that's about it. Let's see, what else? Let's see what else we did. We went over the horn. We talked about American Wire, that has to auto wire, that has to do a better job at instructions. And that was about it. Got the glove box light in. So really not a ton of anything to see here. So we'll have a short video today. I'm going to concentrate on getting a lot more done today because I'm trying to do all that little tedious stuff. With the brakes out of my way now, I can kind of throw the wheels back on it. I can probably get it back onto the ground. I'm not going to do that this weekend. Next week I'll probably put it back on the ground. I just want to sort out this kickdown thing. And the wire that I have here is the wire that's actually made for the two with a solenoid at the bottom, or the sensor at the bottom, or whatever you want to call it. Actually has the T-style sensor where you have two terminals, and again, as I said, one is for the TCS system and one is for the kickdown. The only one we need is kickdown. TCS does not exist on this car. And to the best of my knowledge, when I bought the car, that was already gone. And I don't even recall, actually, on my original tranny, on my original Turbo 400, I don't recall anything except a single wire. So, you know, again, it's the correct wiring harness that I got. The engine wiring harness is correct according to American Auto Wire. It was a good harness, everything fit, and that was the only thing that I had to deal with. The only other thing I'm not using is the wiper wires. Those are hidden away. And the coil wires, didn't need any of that. That's all hidden away. The relay came. I did mount it on the dash, on the firewall. And they do make a black boot for it, so I can make it disappear. But I'm choosing to leave it and give it, again, a little bit of that mechanical look. And, you know, we're motoring along. I'm going to start doing my fuel lines, I think, today. And I have a bunch of stuff coming for the headliner, the window trim and all that stuff. So we're going to be getting to that headliner soon, too, which I dread. I hate doing headliners. There's so much geometry involved, and it's not just pull it, clip it. I mean, you got to pay attention, because if you're not paying attention, when you look at it, you'll start seeing, especially when you start putting like the coat hooks on and everything, you'll start seeing how the distance from the seam to the coat hanger on one side to the other is different, and it looks like crap. And you know, is anybody going to notice it? Maybe not. It's just, again, not the right way to do things. You got to do it properly. I don't know of anybody in the area, to save time, that I could call to have them come do it for me. Because again, you know, doing a headliner for me, that's going to be an all-day, 2-day project, because I don't have time to spend all day here. And my other project is I'm trying to unclutter this shop, because I want to fit the coffin car in here. And I have a lot of stuff in here that still needs to go on the car. Some of the stuff that just needs a different area to store it, and I'm out of room. So, you know, I've been going back and forth, and I think on that driveway that I created when we did the fence, my pathway, I think we're going to go ahead and put up another small garage. So this way, that small garage will take my overage, because it's not stuff that I could store away and not need. I still need to access some of this for the other projects. So it would make no sense to do off-premises storage, or, you know, just shove it behind something else or whatever. I need to access it. So that's something that I'm entertaining. That my estimate for building that was anywhere from 5 to 7 weeks, something like that. And you know, I was hoping to improve that time, but I need to act now, otherwise this is not going to happen. And you know, winter's going to be here before you know it, and then I'm just finally moving in there, because it still is going to need to be insulated. I'll probably spray foam it. I work with a lot of spray foam companies. I fix their trucks, and I can work something out with them to come spray foam it. And also, it needs to be, I'm not going to sheetrock it. I'm probably going to put plywood paneling up, so this way I can screw shelves to the walls and so on and so forth. And also, it's going to be more kind of like storage and overage than it's going to be actually, you know, working in it and being in it. Like this garage is all sheetrock done properly. It's got a bathroom, you know, it's got a full bathroom, shower, steam shower, the whole 9 yards. But that'll just be storage, but it's still going to have to be climate controlled. So, you know, I need time to do all that. So, you know, enough of that. There's no reason to take the camera off today to look at anything, because everything I did was very small, nickel and dime, just getting things done. The brake bleeding was the big thing last week that I spent time on. And today we're just playing around with some wiring. What else did I do here? We got the horn situated, which I was really happy with, getting that out of the way and done. And that was about it. So again, it doesn't look like I got a lot done, but I actually did, because I'm several steps ahead now, and I could continue between doing the fuel today, the fuel lines, and starting on buttoning up the interior. The console is finalized. Everything works well in there. The shifter's working well. It works in park and neutral. It doesn't. It starts in the gears. It doesn't start. The rug is pretty much down. The sill piece, the sill pieces are not in yet. I don't want to install those till the very end, so I don't dent them up. And as I said, everything seems to, you know, be fitting good. The pad really has settled down, and it's really fitting really good. Better than the original. So when people say that, you know, things don't fit, you know, I don't know. Maybe you're just buying a cheaper part, and that's why you're having problems. But you know, the most exciting part was this. Only one horn. I got the other horn here. The other horn and the jumper wire, so you can connect both horns. I'm kind of holding off on doing the radiator, for the simple reason that I kind of want all the room to continue working, and the radiator to be really the last thing I do. I still have to button up the lines for the power steering and booster, and I still have to phase my rotor. So I haven't phased it yet because the car's up high, and it's a project for me to lean over all this gigantic motor, try to get it done. Once the car comes down, at that point, it'll be a little more comfortable for me to get in there, so this way I'm not killing my back. Also, I switched over, let me take this off so I can show you. So I switched over on the coolant sensor, the temperature sensor. I switched over the wire cover, so this way it's got the slide on. This has got that bullet slide on type. And all I had to do was, the wrong one was on there. It was just the one that would go onto the spade type terminal. So I switched it and I just popped it out. It was very easy. I rebent the tab, so this way when I push this one out of the lock, it worked out beautifully. And this basically has the that U opening, and it slides right out to there. Again, your sending units are very important to be the correct ones, or your gauges won't read correctly. And again, I got everything from GM. They're all GM sending units. Oh, and I did the, you know what, we will take the camera off, and I'll see if I can give you some half-assed picture of what I did with the oil sending unit. So let's do that. And again, I'm not a cameraman. I'm definitely going to make you dizzy with this one. I don't think we're going to see anything from up here. No, we're not. So, let me get in position here, which is going to be a lot of fun. On the oil sending unit, or oil switch as it's really called, if you can see where my finger is, right there is the sender. Or the switch, whatever you want to call it. So I chose to aim it down because I got a 90 on there, and I had to reduce it to go into the 3/8 hole that's in the block. And boy, was it fun trying to turn wrenches in there. The switch itself went in pretty easy because the angle that it's on. I do have the special wrench for the sender, so that wasn't that bad. But the other two parts were a pain in the rear. I assembled it in the vise, the 90 and the it was a 90 street elbow. So it and the adapter to go from 3/8 to the 1/8 inch. So I assembled that, and then slowly and surely just kept turning it, and got it in there. I mean, it was literally an hour's worth of turning to put that little piece in there. I wasn't dropping the header to do that. So basically, I chose that spot there because if it was straight up, it was no way to get a wire on it. If it was facing backwards, a little farther away from the header, it wouldn't clear the lip of the block. So basically, I ended up choosing that spot right there because there is a lot of air there. I'm going to have to extend the wire on the harness in order to fit it properly. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to wrap it with the heat shield and the wire tie wraps, and this way it'll be heat protected, and you know, we'll be in good shape, and that should work out well. So you know, that was very time consuming. Should I have done it before I put the headers on? Yeah, of course. But did I think of it? Absolutely not. You know, you look at it, you're like, I'll get it later. And, you know, it was possible, but it was a pain in the butt. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world to do. So, anyway, that's done. Let's put this back on the stand. Let's finish up. Okay, and besides receiving my race gas, I actually came home to a few more Snap-on items. So, this one here is, here's the description: portable outdoor table. I believe it's a stainless steel table with a sink and everything in it. And obviously, part of it is a table, and you put it next to your barbecue when you're working outside. Hook a hose up to it, I would imagine, and you got yourself a sink out there, and you know, you could do your barbecuing and stuff like that. This one I'll probably open and use. I just need to have time to play with that. And there was something else that I found too. Now, I think it's this box here. I don't even know what this is. I actually have to read it. Okay. Oh, this is the socket toss. Everybody should have a socket toss. And again, that's just a toy. That's something that'll go in my memorabilia pile. And I'll open it to look at it, but you know, nothing crazy. And I think that was it. I don't think I received anything else except some basic supplies, you know, odd and end stuff, you know, nothing crazy. But that's about it, guys. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay cool, because it was a miserable hot week this week. And that took a lot out of me. So when I got home each afternoon, I mean, I didn't even look at the door to come in here. I went inside, took a shower, and sat in that air conditioning, just recharging for the next day. So I think, I'm pretty sure we're going to have another brutal, humid week. So again, I'd rather have the humidity and the heat than the cold. I don't feel the cold, but my body does, and boy, does your body hurt when you're done at the end of the day. And you don't recover as quick as you do when it's nice and hot out. But I guess that's about it. And like I said, enjoy your weekend, whatever's left of it, and next week I'll show you a little bit more progress. Are we close to starting the car? I would say computer, everything is connected. I would say, yeah, we're probably a few weeks away. You know, it kind of reminds me of the money pit. Yeah, 2 weeks. Everything was 2 weeks. So I'm going to say 3 weeks. So we're getting close. And again, like I said, I can only come in here if I have time. And number two, because of the way I work, because of the hours that I work, I do have to take some time to just sit and cool down and have a little alone time. And like I said, the car's not important, your health is important. You got to take care of yourself, and this is just a hobby. When you get to it, you get to it, and hopefully, you know, you get to it sooner than later, but it is what it is. All right, guys, have a good weekend. See you next week.